You have your space thinner to give you a wash?
No, never have, and I think you could very easily do a paint thinner. But it's just so fluid that you really don't need it. And so, yeah, no, never use. And no brushes, and just my fingers. And there's this artist that we really like, and his name is Ken Oster, and he shows work at Howard Manville Gallery, some little paintings, but he really is from Laguna Beach. And so we were reading in a book, a magazine article, it was a couple of years old. Anyway, he's decided to use his fingers. Why use brushes? And he paints big things, so he has these, I went to his studio and he just has these big cans of paint and he just dips in and starts, smearing them around. And I thought, yeah, we beat you. We've been doing it for years. Okay.
Used to do it in preschool.
Yeah, it's finger painting. It's really great. It's emotional. You get, you're into your painting room. I have a pair of shoes that stays in my work room because they're just caked with this stuff. And I'm like, oh, I'm getting it off the floor now. Oh dear. Okay, so I will go back and re-emphasize the darks. Like, so, even though I spaced it, you can still see everything.
Right.
So I'm going to go in with the dark. And faces, I might do a face 10 times maybe, just to get it just right. And there's, the thought of light against dark. You want something to really pop out, it'll be light against the dark. Want something to fade back, don't have it so contrasted.
You do commissions, Lois?
Oh, I've done a couple, and I freeze up and I just don't paint well. So I went down to Laguna Beach, commissioned. They sent me pictures of their dogs, and let me stay at their house and everything in a gated community by the beach. And so when I brought the painting and I was there when they opened it up. They just went, thanks, because it was so bad. It was just so bad. Where when I paint for myself, it's spontaneous, and you don't care what people think. But and that's happened more than once. Oh yeah, it'll do. There's a really nice color called. Oh, and how do you get the paint off this? How do you get these going? You may ask. It's the outside of these have a skin. You just take. I've seen people take razor blades and sharpen these to points, but there's no need to do that. It's just the skin you can take off. And then if you don't paint for a week or so, and the skin is hardened over it, you can, kind of go like this. Okay, this is. I don't want black in the shadow because it'd be too black. So this is a wonderful color, olive green. Very soft. It looks dark, but it really blends in with. Let's try red. So her red dress is going to reflect on the white bedspread, so I'll put red in here. It'll intermingle and such. Okay. So this is the red dress. And it's dry, and then you go over it with the red again. And I keep wiping my fingers to keep it clean. And I just kind of noodle it on, and then I'll get to shadowy areas. I might use a grape color for the shadow, and I just keep layering the colors on. I always put a little red in the cheeks. There's a great book. There's a Charles Reed watercolorist, and he has a book out on portraits. And I learned a lot through reading the book about a little flush in the cheeks and in the nose. So my old paintings, you know, it was way too much. So I look at some of my old stuff. Oh. I don't use kids in paintings. Kids, there's a couple of things that kind of, Seattle is edgy. This is old, this is rather tame for Seattle's galleries. So, so I make the figures morose. People like depressed paintings, you know, they don't like it too happy. But then Seattle Art Museum is going to have a happy show. Happy pictures. Oh, there was a painting that was just not very good, and my man was just standing there, and I wanted to do a picture of this guy, but it was nothing. So I said, how am I going to get somebody to buy these paintings? So I put a bouquet of flowers in his hand, and the title was, "Will You Marry Me?" So just like that, because I knew somebody wanted to marry somebody somewhere out there, and he would buy the painting and give it to his girlfriend, and she'd read it, "Will you marry?" And they'd look at each other, and so I'm sure that's how it sold. But you know, as soon as I put the flowers in his hand, oh, and I think he was holding his hat too, a hat in hand. So there's commercial. I mean, this one, you gotta think a little commercial.
But I take it those things typically emerge as you're working.
Yeah.
In other words, those aren't pre-planned.
No, they
which
just.
I guess is the beauty of it.
And they start, you know, like this painting started out with no dog there. Well, what's she going to be looking at? And you know, I start having little conversations with these people. You know how writers say, oh, the book wrote itself and the characters told me how you know, how to write the next chapter. And I think it's, in a way, true. You get into your paintings and you hear voices, and then your only friends become the ones in the paintings. Then you're in trouble. But look how nice this color, you know, sits right on top. And who said they don't like it?
They like it.
Oh, I think I don't like it.
No, I like it.
Beautiful, yeah.
So, do you ever do an acrylic painting underneath before you use the oil bar?
No, there wouldn't be a need, but I used to paint in watercolor on really smooth painting, and then take soft pastels and paint over the watercolor. So I used to do a lot of that until I got tired of it. So, you know, you think light, shadow, where the highlights hit, you're going to have, I like spots, so I put spots and everything. So this window should cast light over everything. If I did this right, it would have a nice light over her dress.
The luminosity of this work is wonderful.
Well, thank you, and that's what why I keep adding layer after layer after layer, because it just heightens that luminosity. And when I see paintings that are thinly painted, I get a little irritated because this takes a lot of work. Somebody said, how long? Well, maybe I'll work at it weeks, not every minute, but you're looking, scraping it down, adding, scraping it down, adding. So it's.
Is Lyle a harsh critic, or is he a cream puff?
Oh, he makes
He's a harsh critic.
me cry. No.